Welcome back, everybody. Time again for Word Balloon, the comic book conversation show.
Then I will ask questions around the horn that I intended to.
We could just start talking about our experiences on the show.
He's got questions for us.
We could.
He's already got
You
questions.
could comment on my performance as much. What did you think of me?
Evan, you started it all with the animated series. You did.
I did actually.
First
I
one
take
you did.
credit. I take total credit.
Absolutely. Well, obviously, the success of the animated series begat all these other shows.
You can.
And it was so
Kevin, how
exciting.
many times did you pass on the role of Batman before you finally agreed to take
They came to me over and over and over. And I said, no, no, no. And they threw more money at me. And I said, no. So they brought another bag of money. And I said, no. And then they said, well, Andrea Romano is going to direct it. And I said, oh, well, I'll be right there.
Yeah.
And he has your bags of money.
I'm just kidding. I'm just
We know
kidding.
you're kidding.
I
I'm
see
just
comments from YouTube.
Yeah, but I want to make sure the
Oh, yes.
audience knows I'm kidding.
Yeah, which is great.
That's the late Kevin Conroy, surrounded by his Justice League castmates and director Andrea Romano and Lex Luthor, Clancy Brown, all 10 of us, including me. A great panel that I did for Mainframe Comic-Con back in August of 2020. And Susan Eisenberg managed to get us all together. But we're honoring Kevin Conroy today, and we're doing it by representing this Justice League cast table read. Everybody, including Carl Lumley, who they say many times is not a guy that did a lot of conventions and did a lot of these kind of table reads beyond the animated series itself. So, again, all credit goes to Susan Eisenberg, the animated Amazon herself, Wonder Woman, who always, threw up the, you'll forgive me, the bat signal, but everybody came running. This was great. To me, this is Word Balloon's version of the Beatles' Get Back, and instead of the Fab Four, we got the Spectacular Seven. But again, I want to include Clancy Brown in that casting as well, and the wonderful director Andrea Romano. This is great. You're hearing warts and all in terms of, this is just a bunch of us, dealing with technology, dealing with Zoom. Poor Carl was having trouble signing on. And you'll hear us, oh, he's there. No, he's not there. But I wanted to leave that in just because it really, I love the informality. And that all of these men and women were just so used to doing this. And that's what I think made it such a special online panel and table read. And, I had subsequent ones with Maria and George Newbern doing a thing at Terrificon where we did a Shira and Kal-El scene. And then, of course, we did Kingdom Come with George Newbern and Susan Eisenberg, and that was great with Mark Waid narrating. But this was the most special one, getting the entire Justice League together. And I got to be the ringleader, just kind of keeping things going. And everyone was sweet. They've all been incredible since this thing when I would see them. I saw Kevin and Susan Eisenberg and Phil Lamar. They were all in Connecticut for Mitch Halleck's Terrificon. And Susan, Kevin, and I hung out in the green room and had a nice little hangout session. Lamar came over, Phil, and we were talking a bit at Franco's table. So I'm always happy to see these people. They truly are. They're the best. You know it. You don't need me to say it. And their wonderful work on Batman the Animated Series, Justice League, and Justice League Unlimited, and subsequent movies as well. It all speaks for itself. We lost a great actor and a great friend to the nerd culture, Kevin Conroy. And what better way to pay tribute to him than replaying this wonderful session of the Justice League cast doing a table read. So I hope you enjoy it today. That's what we're doing on Word Balloon. Without further ado, let's get into it, and I hope you enjoy it.
Welcome, everybody. It's John Suntress here from the Word Balloon podcast. And we have a great group here. The original super team themselves, the Seven, are all here, and their ringleader as well. I will introduce them individually. First, the tragic heroine who almost betrayed the Justice League, Hawk Girl herself, Maria Canales-Barrera. There we go. Oops.
How are you, John?
Good to see you. Absolutely. It's good to see you. Great hair, Maria. Very, very nice. Well done.
It's insane.
Next, her sometimes lover, the Green Lantern, Jon Stewart himself, Phil Lamar, ladies and gentlemen. Again, am I bringing everybody?
the host,
I guess
John.
I am. Here we go. There's Phil. There you go. I didn't know they everyone else got a producer. I guess I'm a one-man
Well, there's
band
7 of
today.
us, so there's
That's
really
all right.
no
Great
room
to
for
see you, Phil.
anybody else.
Yeah, I'm like Snapper Carr to your Justice League. I understand, man. The hero we need now more than ever. Superman himself.
Bring it.
It's George Newbern, everybody.
How you doing? Good to say hi.
There you go.
Andrea.
Secretly disguised as
Exactly,
Clark Kent, so none of us
I need
can.
these for my
you know.
eyesight. Yeah.
It's all good, man. Next, it's the animated Amazon herself, and I got to find her here on the list because there's so many people here. Susan Eisenberg,
Susan
everybody.
Eisenberg.
Wonder Woman herself. Good to see you, buddy.
Hey, pal. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, you sound good.
Okay.
You're a little distant, but you sound good otherwise. All right,
I've always
next.
found that to be the case.
Well, I'm a little distant. What can I say?
Next up, it's the heart of the team, the fastest man alive. It's the Flash, ladies and gentlemen, Michael Rosenblum.
Whenever I'm alone,
Nice.
with Justice League,
Nice.
hang on. They make me feel like I am fast again.
Nice. Nice.
Hi guys.
Next, it's simply the Dark Knight himself, Batman, Kevin Conroy, everybody.
Am I
Kevin
blue?
Oh, here we go.
This is how we're starting. This is how we're starting.
Am I blue? Just for you, Susan. Just for you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh man.
Miss you.
There he is. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the last survivor of Mars himself, John Jones, Carl Lumley, everybody.
Hey,
Bring it,
Carl.
Carl. Come on, bring it, Carl. Where are you?
No, Carl.
Unfreeze. Unfreeze.
Exactly. Carl's in suspended animation. There we go.
There we go.
There he is. There he is.
I'm frozen.
A little bit.
Yes.
A little bit. All right,
Yes,
good.
no.
This a little bit, Carl. This may be a challenge then for our ringleader, the John Williams to this orchestra, who will lead this group in a fantastic table read. Ladies and gentlemen, the legendary Andrea Romano.
Yay! Kevin, darling, your hair looks almost as beautiful as Maria's. Almost as beautiful.
This is what 6 months of no haircuts looks like.
It's just great.
Wow.
It looks
getting
good.
better.
Andrea.
I'm so happy to see you all, you darlings.
I'm so
all.
happy to see you.
Thank you
Great
for
seeing you.
finding this time together, and you all look fantastic. And John, thank you, and
Oh,
of
stop
course
it.
we have to all thank Susan, because Susan
Yes.
is the agent for the Justice League. The Justice League itself has its own agent, and
Yes,
it
she
is
put
all this
Susan
together.
Eisenberg.
Thank you.
Thank you,
No
darling.
question.
Thanks, Susan.
You're welcome.
We love
You're
it. It's like
welcome.
it's like the mom
Thank
that
you,
brings the
Susan.
family together.
It's only fitting that Wonder Woman leads you into battle, so I think that's good.
It works well.
Now we're
And Carl,
missing one
There's Carl.
person.
Oh,
We're missing
Carl.
Clancy, unfortunately. Lex Luthor.
is he not coming?
I don't know. I didn't see any emails. Let me check my email right
There's
now.
only one Lex Luthor. Let's be honest.
It's true.
Uh,
Well, for the Justice League.
I'm
Anyway.
kidding. I'm
But
kidding. I
no,
According to
what do we
JL
know,
Wikipedia,
John?
there's 7.
Thank you.
There's a
Thank you
lot.
for that.
There's a lot.
John, do you have access to Clancy? Do we know? Because
I can email him again and see what's going on. But yeah, unfortunately, I will do that
Anybody
while
got
you.
a
You
phone
know what? Let
number
me.
on Clancy?
I do. Let me
Oh,
text him
yeah?
and
That'll
just
be
see if
excellent. Let's
and
find
just
out, and we'll
see-
chat amongst ourselves while we wait for that.
you chat
Yes,
amongst
here we go.
yourselves.
I will. Is everybody in Los Angeles? I know, John, you're in Chicago. Everybody else, are you in LA?
Yeah, I'm in
I am.
LA.
Los
Yes,
Angeles.
Yes.
Kevin?
It's hot. It's hot.
Jeez.
Is it?
in LA, Andrea?
I am.
Okay.
We're in LA. Yep. Because we can't travel now. It's just.
I'm in Andrea's guest room. I'm in Andrea's guest room.
George, where are you?
Yes.
I didn't know if you were using the place up north or not.
Yeah, he uses it. He does.
You mean the
Yes,
Fortress of
okay.
Solitude?
That's it.
Yes. Yeah.
Andrea's frozen. This could be a crazy episode where each member starts disappearing, freezing. We just go.
Yeah, believe me, I'm going to be watching.
Go with it.
So
I
don't
hear ya.
worry. Clancy will be joining us momentarily.
Oh, great.
Then
We're at full capacity, apparently. I thought it could handle 10, but
That's
maybe
what
not.
it
How many
said.
people are
No, it
watching us,
said
John?
You know something, I don't have the full, because of course it's a mainframecomiccon.com, the website, but I do know we have over 1,000 combined with Facebook and the various YouTube channels right now. So we're
Wow.
doing good.
Well, hi,
Wow.
everybody. We're very happy to be here. We're excited. We hope this works out. We're doing the best we can.
You guys, am I correct that the last time we were all together and did this kind of thing was 2017 in Denver?
Yes.
How about
That was
you
everyone
guys?
except Carl.
Carl wasn't in Denver.
Right. That's true. Carl wasn't there. Carl has
And
this
then we-
fabulous glow of light over him. Do you guys have the same
Right.
thing over Carl?
Yeah,
This
yeah.
heavenly light over you, Carl.
Yes.
And
But he's
frozen.
also frozen.
I know, but it's beautiful light.
But he looks good.
He looks really good.
I wonder what we do when we're talking, and then all of a sudden someone freezes and we don't know the line
I know.
because we don't hear it.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
Carl's in frozen is in suspended animation again. Yes.
Carl,
Yes.
if you hear us, leave the conversation and come back in. That sometimes
Right.
helps.
Susan, are you able to text Clancy? Because again,
Yes.
we were okay. If you could text him
He
and
said
just
he-
ask him to try and sign in again, because I think we were, like I said, we were at capacity.
Okay.
Maria,
Yeah.
try not to drink too much.
Yeah, because the rest of them,
Right? And we've got you for about 70 minutes, kid. So
Thank you.
no breaks.
Good to know.
By the time we finally get to record, it's going to be a great record.
It's going to be so
It's a
good.
good
It's
thing.
so
All right, I'm
good.
back. You see me?
Okay. So
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, this
I'm
is
here.
great.
That's
You guys, it's a great
Okay.
rehearsal. So we'll all
I'm
be
here.
ready when we start.
Okay, Michael.
Oh wait, we have
Okay,
started.
there's George. George is back.
yep.
I
So we're
see
just
Carl
waiting right now
across
for Clancy, the Kurgan.
Did everybody get the script? Everybody has the script?
Yes,
close by?
except for
Yes. I have.
Except for
this.
Kevin.
Kevin about 5 minutes ago texted
script.
all of us and said, "Oh gosh, the script." And I'm like, and then he's like, "Just kidding."
How do I make the
Phil.
screen bigger?
How do you make the screen bigger?
Yeah.
I don't know. I was told there'd be no method. Oh, poor Carl, man.
Oh.
I'm telling you, the transmat beam from Mars is not working well, unfortunately.
It's not fair too because he's good to be with us. He doesn't always do these.
Oh my God, I know.
I
It's
don't want to
yeah.
lose him. I know we're lucky to get
So-
him.
and
So-
I got to ask him about the mantis. Truly, that is my burning question that I must ask him about his early '90s superhero show.
It's about 104 in my backyard right now. How are you guys all doing?
It's so hot.
It's so hot. It's crazy.
And humid, so it's bizarre
humid.
because it's
It's
never
69 degrees in my office. So
Oh,
There you
man,
go.
That's chilly.
Why aren't we all in Michael's office?
yeah, I like it.
It wouldn't be that cool anymore.
Flash Andrea's basement.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You guys can tell how much I love you because I decided to put on a long sleeve shirt in
Wow.
this heat.
You don't want
Oh,
to show off the guns.
frozen again.
Wow, we see
Oh, no.
you, but
But he's-
frozen.
Oh, he's muted, so maybe we could hear
Oh,
him.
he's smiling.
I know.
That's a
He's
good sign.
smiling.
Hey,
Unmute-
Carl, if you can hear us,
your
unmute
microphone.
yourself.
Oh, here, and I can see if I can help him with that as well.
I'm
Maybe
gonna
you can do that,
See if
John.
he can see
Absolutely, I
this.
will try.
He's frozen, but if we can
check
hear him, at
left.
least and see his beautiful smile, we could be halfway
For
there.
Carl.
Oh, Carl, you have muted yourself on your end. I am not able to unmute you. I need a permit from the doctor to be able to mute you. He's coming
What?
back again. Hold on 1 second.
We'll never get him again, you guys.
No, I know. I feel so bad.
know.
Carl is
Yeah.
always so hard to get.
You know, this is a
What?
challenge.
Hey,
Hey, there's Lex.
The hell
I can't
is
just go
happening?
anywhere.
Oh my God.
Nancy Brown.
Yeah, Santa Claus.
Santa's here.
What a
That took a
Santa's
while.
here.
what a great beard.
Thank you.
How you doing, buddy?
Gosh.
It took
Clancy.
too damn long for me to get in here, I'll tell you.
Well,
Oh,
now you
doing?
have
did we all
Clancy.
disappear for a minute there? Clancy! Yay!
There you are, Ann.
We're missing Carl again.
I have a feeling he went to move in his place, in his house.
Okay.
To
He
a
may be on
different
a
location.
desktop computer, and that might be more of a challenge.
And he may
than-
just be too far away from his wife, from his
yeah,
router.
from his right. Oh, I love it when you talk like that, Susan.
Well,
Clancy, you're a real man. You're a real man with a real beard. Look at
Does he
you.
look fantastic?
I'm growing it. I'm growing it.
I like
I-
it, man.
I
Just
do too.
letting it go. What
George,
else do
what
I
is
have to
that?
do?
It's my iPad with my script on it.
Smart.
Oh, I see. I see.
Right up in there. I got my script right there, and I got you right there.
All right.
you go.
So we
George?
just
Hi, Clancy Brown.
I was listening to you as I
Yeah?
was driving down the coast with my son on
Oh, yeah?
this book on tape called The
Oh, was
British
it?
Are Coming.
Oh, it's yeah, it's a long one. That must have been a long
That's
trip.
a long one.
Yeah, it's a long one. Well, I hope I
Total
didn't bore you to death.
respect, my man. Total
No.
respect.
How often do you zone out and
Thank
then
you.
you rewind?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, completely,
yeah.
completely.
Still waiting for Carl, unfortunately.
Well,
Okay,
John,
he's
great
gotta-
to be here. Thanks for having us.
yes,
Exactly.
we're so
Been a
happy to
great
be
time.
here.
Guys, honestly, long time fan and
It was a joke,
watcher.
Andrea.
And
See you later. Thanks, that was fun.
Was that it, Michael? Okay, Michael's leaving us. All right,
Mike, that's a wrap for Michael.
I know you have to leave too, Michael, don't you?
Yeah, Michael has to leave.
Yeah, but let's get Carl in here and we could get
absolutely, buddy.
Some
No,
of the
that's
first
right.
lines with you, so I'm just waiting on him.
Hopefully,
we'll do it.
Oh, that's right. Because it's in the monitor room. Absolutely, I read the lines. Absolutely.
See. What I did was I took the last 3 scripts of that season of Justice League Unlimited and just pulled some scenes that allowed for all of you to have some words to say. Maria, I gave you the reporter because Shayera's being kind of tight-lipped in this part of the story. But it's 3 shows. It's Flashpoint, Divided We Fall, and Panic in the Sky. Those are the 3 episodes that I just pulled dialogue from. Just to give everybody a chance to say some words and, and not too much fighting stuff because I didn't think the fans wanted to hear too many.
Hey, Andrea, I mean, you're the best director in history, but I just thought maybe an idea would be as if like all of a sudden I'm speaking, but you guys can't hear me because something happened. Say, Michael, we couldn't hear you. Can you repeat that line? I think that's probably, otherwise we could do half a script with people frozen and we don't know what the hell's going on.
Are you asking me just to check in every once in a while to make sure things are done twice?
Well, no, like in other words, if like Clancy's saying a line and then nobody heard it, but he read it, he doesn't know it, you might have to jump in and say, hey, Clancy, read that part again. We could.
I can do that.
It's going to keep happening, I have a feeling.
Look,
Here comes Carl.
Here comes Carl.
Carl Lumley.
Carl Lumley.
Yes.
Yes.
Hello.
I can hear you.
Well,
yes.
Your face is frozen, but your mouth is.
And I see. I stopped.
So this is the Buckaroo Banzai.
We'll try one more place, and it's not
Right.
And now I'm going to move into other rooms. I will not give up this fight.
You're a good man. We're rooting for you, Carl.
I will not give up this fight.
Is that your plan, Carl?
People are listening right now, John. So they're seeing all these technical difficulties. So that's show business. That's what happens.
Well, but the thing is, we don't all have to keep talking about it.
Well, I mean, otherwise it's like, they're going to be like, what are they doing? Are they going to do something? Otherwise, we're just, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
no, I was going to suggest that while we were waiting for Carl, either start with like as opposed to the first scene, maybe move. Is that possible, Andrea? Or
no,
okay.
It's consecutive. It's in sequence. No,
it's all good, buddy. Then I will ask questions around the horn that I intended to.
We could just start talking about our experiences on the show.
He's got questions for us.
We could.
He's already got.
Yeah, you could comment on my performance as much. What did you think of me?
Kevin, you started it all with the animated series. You did.
I did actually. I take credit. I take total credit.
Absolutely. Well, obviously, the success of the animated series begat all these other shows. And it was
Kevin,
so exciting.
how many times did you pass on the role of Batman before you finally agreed to take it?
They came to me over and over and over, and I said no. And they came back and they begged me,
Beach.
and they threw more money at me, and I said no. So they brought another bag of money, and I said no. And then they said, "Well, Andrea Romano's going to direct it," and I said, "Oh, well, I'll be right there."
Yeah.
And he has your bags of money.
I'm just kidding.
We know you're kidding.
I see comments from YouTube.
Yeah, but I want to make sure the audience knows I'm kidding.
Yeah, which is great.
Did any of you appear on the animated series on Batman or the other series before?
Yes, Kevin is
getting
kidding.
together for Justice League.
Michael did.
Clancy?
I did.
Michael did?
Michael, who'd you play on the animated series?
Didn't I play like Scarecrow and Deadshot, a bunch of characters? Yeah, it was a lot of fun. That's sort of how the Flash came about. Then
No,
wrong.
I think you just, I auditioned, actually, you came in, this is the weirdest thing, how I came to get to know Michael Rosenbaum. An actor canceled on me the morning of the session, and the agent called me and said, this actor is canceling, but I got somebody for you who is so wonderful and so good. You're going to be crazy about him for the rest of your career. Michael Rosenbaum, I can get him there in time for the session. Michael showed up, and I hired him 20 times after that, including as the Flash, which is a recurring role.
That's great.
But
that is
awesome.
true, and that's luck. Because if I didn't come that day and those, that just happened, then I don't know what would have happened.
I don't know when I would have met you.
I mean, I'm lucky. So thank you, Andrea.
That was an amazing thing about doing this show was Andrea, was the cast that you put together.
Yes, it was.
All across the board, the guests, the principals, everybody. It was just, there wasn't a weak link in any of the shows that you did. You
very
really
Hamill. I
went
thought Mark
for
Hamill
the-
was a weak link.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mark Hamil
A
was.
slug.
Yeah.
A slug.
What a hack.
You know, I was very lucky that after Batman the Animated Series, and when I started to get a name for myself, and the show certainly had a name for itself, a lot of agents called me up and said, people want to come and play with you, Andrea, and they want to be a part of the DC universe. And so I had this massive wish list that I compiled and that agents sent to me saying, these 15 clients of mine want to come and work with you, celebrity-wise or just fabulous voiceover actors. And we had remarkable people come in and play with us.
Yeah.
Only 1 or 2 times ever did I have to replace someone. And that always breaks my heart. I'll keep them after school and beat them up and beat them up and beat them up until I get a performance that we're both happy with.
Yeah. Andre, Hank Azaria, when I first started doing the series, he said, "Oh my God, I love that show. I want to get on that show. Can you get?" And he was in the middle of The Simpsons.
No.
I'm like, "Yeah, I said, Hank, I think they'd probably have you on." And I talked to him a month later. Said, "Yeah, no one would call him back. He wanted to be on the Justice
never
League."
reached out to me.
I'm gonna tell you, he said, "God, I wanted to be on that show so bad."
I would have had him.
Maybe he was lying.
Nobody ever told me. Nobody ever reached out to me personally. Yeah. Is everybody healthy and well, and everybody getting through this all okay?
Yeah.
Good.
We're all good.
Good.
I go for a 3-mile walk every morning.
Hey, I wanted to ask you how long that takes you, Kevin.
Huh?
How long does the 3 miles take you to do?
A little under an hour, like 50 minutes.
Because I do about 2.5 miles in 40 minutes.
Yeah, that's
but this
right.
morning was so bloody hot, I couldn't bear it.
Mikey's
I mean,
back.
I really thought,
Hi, Michael.
okay.
Michael's back.
You've got to get out and do that,
It makes the difference. And Michael said he's been walking his dog, so he's getting outside and walking.
A lot of people in my neighborhood are doing that, actually, in the mornings early. And everyone's very respectful. Everybody wears masks.
Good.
Everyone walks around you.
Yes, that's great. That's great. You gotta.
So I feel like we should do something.
Forgive me, guys. I'd be happy to ask questions,
John, ask questions. Great. Ask questions. Let's try to get Carl back in.
Maria, I wanted to tell you, I really enjoy your on-screen work as well as your voiceover work. And I really think it's interesting, especially in these times. It's been a couple of years since you made Larry Crown, but I think that movie speaks to a lot more people now than maybe when it was originally released.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much. Yeah, it sure does, huh?
It was an experience doing that movie.
Oh, it was really great. I mean, Tom Hanks and Julia
nothing
Roberts.
else. Everybody's enjoying our.
It was really cool. And I remember Tim Allen visited the set. It was cool to see the Toy Story guys. I took a picture with them. It was really great.
That's fantastic. George, forgive me, I don't have the name of the game in front of me, but I know you're a big veteran of a very popular online game.
Yeah. Besides Justice League, I've been doing Sephiroth in Final Fantasy. It's been about 15 years. So that's been fun. And then I just have an adult chat room. So that's the third thing I do.
It's really good.
Well, that's where the money is.
For a second,
It's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Yeah. No, I don't.
Yes,
it's up to me what I do. It's up to me how far I take it. And I don't take it very far.
Clancy.
I don't take it very far.
And Clancy, honestly, from the Kurgan and Highlander to your turn as Lex Luthor, which I really think, much like this entire cast, you really made your own. No disrespect, Michael, because you're a fine Luthor as well. But also, God, I really loved you on Sleepy Hollow. I thought that was a really cool turn and great work.
Well, thanks. That was a complete lark. I just worked with those guys on Cowboys and Aliens, and they called me up, and they were shooting in North Carolina, and I happened to be in North Carolina visiting colleges with my daughter. So I said, yeah, I'll come on over and do that. So I bopped over and did it, and they said, well, we'll have you back. I went, well, okay, whatever. And
yeah, because you die in that first episode.
Yeah. I mean, right. I'm like, my head gets chopped off. I thought that was as far as you go, right?
But flashbacks, right, and ghost appearances, as I recall.
Yeah.
Am I right?
What a weird show that was. I never quite got it.
I understand. Phil, aren't you and Susan both in the He-Man Kevin Smith animated series that's coming up?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Good for you guys.
Masters of the Universe Revelations.
And who are you playing?
Cool.
What Revelation?
I don't know what Phil's playing. I'm playing Sorceress.
I'm playing Hero.
Yes.
I was in that too.
Yes.
Kevin, I was going to ask. Yes. Okay. Very cool.
I can't remember who I did, but I did somebody.
How's Kevin Smith as an animation director?
Oh, he's wonderful. I love working with him.
I mean, he's really, and I have to tell you, because I just did my last episode for the season the other day from my closet, and the most surreal thing so far in this COVID experience has been they want to do Zoom while you're recording, and so there is Kevin Smith with me in my closet as I'm recording Sorceress, and it was just you know what he is? He's a cheerleader. He loves actors, and he he knew me from the Justice League, and he's just such a big fan of what people do. Yeah. And he's just there cheering you on, and it just makes you feel like giddy.
Fun.
It's been a joy. It's been amazing.
He loves actors. He really
it's actually sort of full circle for me, because I did an animated show with Kevin before I did Justice League, actually.
Was that Clerks?
Yeah, I did. I guested on his Clerks animated series back in the 90s.
Wow.
The 90s, Mr. Bob?
Wow. God, I was in high school.
Yeah. I couldn't grow a beard in the 90s.
Until the cops came.
Andrea, did the whole cast get together for table reads?
For the most part, we kind of knew what we would set a day of the week for the show. It's okay, every Thursday morning we're going to do the show, and we try to make sure everybody was available for that. And I would determine that day based on what other steady gigs everybody had. So we go, okay, we can't do Thursday mornings because George has that, and we can't do this day because Susan has that. And then it was funny because as I pulled my paperwork for this, Kevin, you had to be in New York during this time because all three of your sessions were recorded at Pullman. Right. Clancy, we picked you up, so you must have been shooting something during this. Rosenbaum, we picked you up, all on the same day, but at different times. And then Ken Schreiner was in this too. We had to pick up Ken because Ken was the Green Arrow. I cut him out of the script for today, but let him know we were thinking of him, Susan, okay? And CCH Pounder, of course, was in this too. Dana Delaney, Carl Lumley, we had to pick up, so I'm guessing he was shooting. But so a lot of people weren't in the room at the same time, but we did still typically.
What year was this? What year was this?
Damn it, I don't know. I could tell you. Hold on, I got to move to it.
Was it 2000?
2000.
If it was unlimited, it was later than that.
Yeah, like 2004.
Pre-COVID.
Let me see if I can find
pre-COVID.
By the way, Kevin Smith, I just interviewed Kevin on the podcast, and Kevin Conroy. But Kevin Smith was wonderful. I mean, you guys were good. And I had only met him once when I did Guardians of the Galaxy, and he goes he was just so passionate. He loves comic books, and he's. Oh yeah. I mean, afterwards he emails me. He's like, "Anytime you want me as a guest," I'm like, "All right, how's every Friday?"
2004 we made this.
I did a movie with him. One of his movies, Yoga.
Wow. Oh, was that with his daughter?
His daughter and Johnny Depp's daughter. Yeah.
Wow. I had no idea you were in that.
You guys, I'm going to go grab my phone and text Carl to see if he's still trying. So
I emailed him as well.
Hey, by the way, you think it would work, or I don't know, if someone had a phone at least with his voice?
That's a great idea. Yeah, that's a great idea.
We'll just put a little pause in there. Let's do that. Get his phone number.
Excellent idea, guys. And in the meantime, Michael, you're a fellow podcaster, and I must tell you how much I enjoy your show. And I think you're doing a great job, man.
Thanks. It just started. I just interviewed everybody here except Clancy.
How'd that go, by the way?
No, we got to do that. We got to figure that out.
You're an interesting guy. I got to get you on. But it was amazing because, obviously talking to a lot of people at the same time, but somehow it just really worked, and everybody was great and had a story. And we read something. It was a lot of fun. So that's going to come out in a couple of weeks. And it was a joy. I'm so glad we got everybody together. It was awesome.
Yeah. That's excellent. That's fantastic.
And in fact, when I asked Carl to do this, Carl was like, well, when we had the conversation with Michael, it was just so perfect. And I said, I know. I know. And what we do for Mainframe might not be perfect, but we'll all be there together.
Yeah.
But that's where he just had the best time.
There he is.
Yeah, it was a great time. It was great. Time. I love talking to people. I never thought I'd ever interview people, and now I'm just.
You're a natural, Michael.
In love with it. I gotta get you on.
There he is.
Hopefully, here, Carl.
Carl. Talk to us, Carl.
Carl, are you alive? Are you there? Can you talk?
We can see you.
Just
Hello?
these
You can see her.
incredible digital portraits.
I would
Carl
still follow up
Lumley.
and ask him to suggest that he calls on his phone.
It's frozen.
And not,
This beautiful.
I would
just
not-
call on the phone.
Yeah.
Call on the phone.
oh,
Carl?
yeah, I think
Yes.
I think it's better if someone calls Carl.
Yes.
And Carl, if you
Right.
can hear us, we're
Oh,
going to
there he
call you
is.
on the phone.
No, I hear it.
You hear him? You can hear
Yeah.
Carl?
Clearly.
Carl?
Yeah, but again, the fact that he's frozen suggests to me that it's going to still have issues, guys, and that's
Yeah.
why I think it might be better to get because I'd really love the table read to get in.
Yeah.
So, Carl, that's the plan. Is we're gonna someone could follow up and
It's Andrea. Hi,
With your
love.
phone?
We can see your sweet face, but freezing. Are you trying to use your phone to do this? He's on an iPad, John.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, iPad's slow. iPads are slow.
iPads are tough with this. They
Yeah, I
recommend
just
a
thought of something
laptop.
stupid. I was like, well, why don't we FaceTime him? But it's like internet.
well, that's literally, or just have his voice and everything would be fine
Yes. No. Yes.
Yeah, just put him on speaker,
Okay.
Andrea.
Okay. Give me 1 second here. Let me just ask John. Hey, John.
Yes.
If we, is there some way if we move you out of this and bring Carl in? He's on an iPad.
We
So
could try it
would
one more
that-
time, but the fact that he's on an iPad, Andrea, I don't think it's going to matter.
It's the iPad is slow. It's a
I think it's the
processing
iPad
issue
that's slow. Yeah.
Yeah.
What we
Oh,
suggest
yes,
is that
Carl.
Carl be on his
Hold
phone
on,
and we
hold on,
use the
Carl. Hold
speaker.
on. They're talking to me. Then
Yeah,
we-
like right
oh,
now, if you just put him on speaker and kept him with you, Andrea, we
all
could
right.
just read
Okay,
the
hold on
scene.
1 second. Please stand by. Speak to me, Carl.
Yes, hello.
Can you guys hear me?
Perfect.
Yes, hello.
That's
Okay,
great.
that's
That's
how
how we
Andrea,
do it.
put it close to the
That's how we're
speaker
going to do
then.
it. Everybody hears me. Give me a thumbs up if you can all hear me.
Yep.
Thumbs up.
Hello?
Thumbs up. Thumbs up. Okay, I
up.
got Carl. Carl.
Yep.
Carl, are you giving me a thumbs up? So here's what we're going to do. This whole scene begins with the Watchtower
Well,
weapon.
we're doing
Can you hear me? You all hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Watchtower
Yes.
weapon has been fired. Nobody in the Justice League fired it. So the weapon has hit the earth, has hit Cadmus in, I believe we're in New Mexico. And Flash comes running into the room at line 1. Michael, you start us off.
What did we hit?
Cadmus headquarters.
That's it.
There's going to be some people who need our help down there. I'm taking a couple of rescue teams.
You know what? I want you to do one more of those, please, Michael. It's a little bit more urgent. Just a little bit more. There's going to be people in trouble. I'm going to help them. One
Ooh, I
more of
like
those,
this
Michael?
direction. This is good.
Oh, direction. Okay. Oh, my
This is great.
So demanding.
There's gonna be some- are you ready? Can you hear me?
I can hear
Here
you.
we go.
There's going to be some people who need our help down there. I'm going to take a couple of rescue teams.
But the teleporters are offline.
And the bay doors won't open without power. We'll think of something.
Good. Do one more, Michael. It's a little golly G. It's just a little bit golly G. Make it a little bit more urgent. A little bit more
I can
superhero.
barely hear.
Better acting, Michael.
You know
Well, I
that
can't even
acting that
hear
you
anything.
do? Could you do it better?
Yeah, hold on. And the bay
Here we go.
doors
Here we go.
And the bay doors won't open without power. We'll think of
That's it.
something.
So much better. So much better. So Jean's attention is drawn to the chirping of a red phone, and Flash says,
Whoa. Is that who I think it? Let me do that again. Whoa.
"Please do."
Is that who I think it is?
And Jean takes a deep breath, prepares himself, and says into the phone.
Mr. President.
And Flash ducks out, taking Supergirl's hands. We are now at the Eagle News Network. It's covering the accident. The reporter is live at the site. Maria, this is you.
Continuing coverage live from Covenant, New Mexico, where a huge explosion has caused tremors detected as far away as Japan.
Perfect.
Ooh, nice. Again,
There
keep
is still
going.
no official word on what occurred here. Eyewitness accounts vary widely.
There's devastation on the screen. She goes on.
So many agree that in the instance before the explosion, they saw an energy beam strike from the sky.
Superman says,
Turn it off.
Jean.
Our sensors are still out. This is the only information available.
Superman toggles his comm link and speaks to the rest of the team.
Diana, John, Shaira, meet me in the main conference room. Now. You too, John. On the phone.
Very good. On the phone. We're in the Watchtower main conference room. Superman, Jean, Green Lantern, Wonder Woman are all at the main table. Shaira is visibly apart from the rest of the group. And Batman and Flash are absent. Superman says,
What have we done?
We haven't done anything. An outside force took control of the binary fusion generator. Whoever's behind that is responsible for the destruction of Cadmus, not us.
Tell that to all those people in New Mexico. They're terrified of us. So's the government.
Well, we can't let technical difficulties stop us from doing our job.
Thank you, Wonder Woman.
How can you protect people who think you don't have their best interests at heart?
And then she notices that Shaira is about to say something. She lowers her eyes in shame, and Wonder Woman catches it and kind of apologizes.
I didn't mean that as a shot at you, Shaira.
Look, a lot of people don't like the Green Lantern Corps when we first come to a planet. We just take our lumps and do the work. Over time, folks come to see what we're about.
Want to try that again without the little stumble?
A lot of people don't like the Green Lantern Corps when we first come to a planet. We just take our lumps and do the work. Over time, folks come to see what we're about.
Much better. Thank you. John?
And yet, over time, the Justice League's reputation has eroded.
Maybe so. But when it comes down to it, we aren't here to be liked. We're here to make the world a safer place.
How are we doing so far today?
Come on, man.
Really cool. Hey, you guys, we have an interesting situation here. We can actually overlap because we are in separate places. So I would love to hear Green Lantern interrupt Superman a little bit there. So Superman, read him in again from line 24, and Lantern, jump on it a little bit sooner, okay? Here we go. Again, Superman, 24.
How are we doing so far today?
Come on, man.
That's better, thank you. Wonder Woman.
I don't see the two goals as mutually exclusive. We should make a gesture of cooperation.
That's not a bad idea.
We could dismantle the binary fusion generator, at least until our innocence has been proven.
I say we permanently dismantle it. The thing is obviously not secure.
And John says?
I agree. Considering what happened during the Thanagarian invasion, Batman was right to have it installed, but under the circumstances, keeping it is much too great a risk.
I've seen it on 100 worlds. Space-based weapons always destabilize planetary politics.
Okay, getting rid of that thing is a start, but it's not going to be enough. We have to start working to regain their trust.
Superman rises to his feet and says,
Then there's only one thing to do.
We cut to Batman in his Batmobile responding to what he just heard. Kevin, we're at 34.
You want me to what?
There's a voice for you. We see the interior of a Javelin. Jean is piloting Superman, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, and Shaira are the passengers. Batman and Flash, still in New Mexico, are visible on the monitor. Wonder Woman says at 35.
Turn yourself over into U.S. custody along with the rest of us.
Flash?
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
Meet us at the coordinates I'm sending first. Yeah, go ahead. Meet us at the coordinates I'm sending first. We should all go over together.
This is the single dumbest plan I've ever heard. You agree with this, Kent?
It was my idea.
Long beat, and then...
If you're feeling guilty, clear your own name. Don't stand on the sidelines waiting for somebody else to do it.
We've already voted. 5 in favor.
6.
You have to come with us, Bruce.
I don't have to do anything. I'm a part-timer, remember?
And he hangs up. Wonder Woman says,
Actually, he took it a lot better than I expected.
Very good. We're in Belle Reve Prison. The Javelin lands. The Justice League exits. Soldiers raise their energy rifles and point them at the League. Phil, will you be my soldier at line 47, please? Superman says at 46.
As promised, we're surrendering ourselves to your authority.
Where's Batman?
Running late. The Batmobile lost the wheel. The Joker got away.
And then the soldier just looks blankly at you and you say,
That's what I heard.
Very good. We're in Luthor's lab. Luthor is welding something. He lifts his visor. We see his smiling face as he says at line 50, Clancy.
Now you're perfect.
And we see it's an Amazo android, but this one has his face.
A perfect, super powerful, immortal body. A suitable place for me to spend the rest of eternity.
He begins flicking switches.
Ironic. Years of plotting, hundreds of millions spent on Cadmus R&D projects, and none of it bore fruit.
He connects the leads from one of his consoles to the Amazo android.
No, it's a lowly employee of LexCorp, Dr. Ivo, creator of Amazo, who we have to thank for my impending godhood.
And we hear from off screen.
That was the last piece I needed.
Batman is stalking forward. Luthor says,
Got it all figured out, have you?
When you and Adam worked together to try and stop the first Amazo, he showed you the blueprints, and I suspect you have a photographic memory.
Luthor proudly taps his temple.
I'm too modest to boast.
The real purpose of Cadmus was to give you superpowers.
And to ruin Superman's reputation. Imagine how sweet it will be when I save the world from the menace of the Justice League. Now, when I kill Superman, they'll build statues in my honor.
Maybe next time.
Nice. Throw a batarang for me, Kevin. Just a Thank you. Batarang. Thank you. That's it. And the batarang explodes in your fist, Clancy, but it doesn't really hurt. It's kind of like a match.
Right.
And he says,
ow.
That's right. And then he goes on with more dialogue.
That was uncalled for.
Very good. Some time goes by. The Justice League destroys the Brainiac ship. We find out that Brainiac was behind all of this. Batman says it's 63.
That was too easy.
Shaira?
Easy? I guess so, standing on the ground watching.
And from Superman's point of view, we scan the wreckage, and Superman says,
no, he's right. Brainiac isn't here. He suckered us.
We're at LexCorp. Flash returns from a super speed recon, zooming back to where the others have gathered. He says it's 66. Michael?
No sign of Brainiac.
Green Lantern, Superman fly in.
My ring can't trace him either.
If we can't find where he is, we have to predict where he's going.
Okay, he's weakened and damaged. He'll need to repair himself.
He may just dump Luthor and find himself a new body.
No, he'll head right for the highest technology available.
And John says,
higher than LexCorp. Then he'll go to Starlab.
Sure. He's all nanotech now, right? What's the most advanced nanotech on the planet?
The Dark Heart. We destroyed it, but your people confiscated the debris.
And Waller, who was voiced by CCH Pounder, says, we've never been able to get any of it to work again. And Batman, will you button this scene for us at 78?
Are you willing to bet Brainiac didn't?
Good. Try it again. One more time.
Are you willing to bet Brainiac can't?
There we go. Beautiful. And that's how we do that, my darling. Well done.
That was a really good rehearsal.
You know what? That was really fun. Like, just I know the
I thought Carl was really cool. The kind of sound on his voice was amazing.
Hearing Clancy, I haven't heard Clancy in a while.
I know. And Kevin,
so
your voice just.
And even hearing John, hearing Carl through the phone sounded like
amazing.
That's I love it. That's so cool.
I love it.
Kind of fit.
It was meant to be. It was so good.
Excellent.
Super fun.
John, did you?
Outstanding.
Yep.
Carl, while we have you on the phone, can I ask you? I wanted to ask you in particular because it really was a groundbreaking show of its time. Can you tell us anything about your time being the Mantis on Fox?
Mantis was
after or before?
94.
94. Oh yeah, way before.
93, 94. Yeah.
I know it didn't last long, but it really was a groundbreaking show. I mean, this is before Black Panther, and then one of the first television black
you're talking
heroes.
About how it was one of the groundbreaking shows so early on, even though it didn't last. What was it? One season? How many seasons did it have?
It was one season.
One season.
But the document was really the pilot.
The document was what?
Really the pilot. The pilot. It was a 2-hour pilot.
Oh, I see.
For Fox, and that was the real statement of Mantis. And we went on and we did a series, but the series lost some of the elements that made the pilot so special.
Ah, interesting.
Cool, Rosamund.
Yeah, really.
Thank you, Michael Rosamund, for showing us the Justice League lineup there. Thank you for that, Michael, too. Thank you, Carl. Really nice.
It's not that great.
Go ahead, John. Ask us.
It's not that great.
Yeah, well, I was going to also ask Michael and Clancy. I look forward to this podcast because much as DC Comics is releasing 3 Jokers at the end of the month, 2 Luthers is going to be an interesting conversation.
Cool. We only worked once together, right? We did the Great Brain Robbery, Fancy and I, where we changed. So that was, and hearing Andrea directed, I wish somebody would have filmed that. That was incredible.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun. Like him delivering my lines and just trying to find out how it was very interesting.
Neat.
Yeah.
Neat.
Well, you were always
give me
so
one
busy.
second, you guys. I'm sorry. I'm just going to check something. Carl, are you no longer connected at all through the site?
No.
I don't know. I haven't checked since I started talking.
Check it out because then you can hear everybody speaking. Rather than
maybe tell Carl instead to connect with his iPhone as opposed to the iPad.
Now you connect
because there
with
might be a
your
better
iPhone.
connection.
Your iPhone might be a better connection. John is saying your iPhone might be a better connection.
All right. I'll go get it.
Okay.
Thanks, man.
Okay. Cool. He's gone.
There we go.
All right.
Understood.
All right.
No, that was great.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. No, I totally understand. George, great turn on Scandal. Really enjoyed the
Thank you.
Absolutely.
That was a fun 7 years. I'll tell you.
That's great. Here, I'm going to go to some questions here from the audience and stuff. Let's. Leanne wants to know. We'll go around the horn. Who are your personal heroes? I'll cue everyone. Maria, a personal hero?
Oh, gosh. There's a lady, an older lady who passed away. She was a friend of mine. And boy, she was just the kind of person you'd go to her home to give her something and you'd come back with 5 things in your hand. And she'd cook for you and offer you help and anything. She was just one of the most generous, and she loved people. She wasn't suspicious of people. And she was a great example to me and a mother figure, being that kind of selfless, giving people the benefit of the doubt. I think I have a little too much suspicious tendency in me to distrust. And she always think of her about loving people. She was a great example. Rosalba was her name.
Nice.
That's beautiful. Rosie?
Wow, Rosie. Call me Rosie.
Well, I see it in the parentheses, so I figured it was.
Oh, yeah. My grandfather was really my hero. He was, nobody's ever been more patient with me, maybe Andrea, but he had such amazing patience, was always willing to do things with, just a good man, good heart, loved me unconditionally. I felt that. He was just a great role model, and he passed away in November, so it was tough. But he had a great life, and I'm grateful for that. So he was definitely my hero.
Nice.
That's awesome. How about it, Phil?
Actually, it's interesting because it's sort of been on my mind. John Lewis, the congressman who recently passed away, and I had the fortune of getting to meet him, weirdly, at San Diego Comic-Con.
Wow. Oh, I saw the video of that, yeah.
He, because they had done a comic book called March about his life and his battle. And it was, it won an Eisner Award the year I was presenting. And so not only did I get to meet him, I got to introduce him to my son.
That's cool.
That's cool.
Wow. That's very cool. Awesome, man. Awesome.
That's really cool. Fantastic. Susan?
We had a chance to think about this because on Michael's podcast, he asked us this question. And, I think, I can't think of one single person, but if I had to choose right now, I'd say people who get involved, who, talk the talk, but also when it comes down to it, they get really involved on the ground. People like Shannon Watts, who started a thing called Mom's Demand to help gun violence in this country and throughout the world. And she has just started this revolution and has created so much change in that world. So people like that, who I think we get to play superheroes, and it's wonderful and it's so much fun, and we get interviewed. But there are so many people who are down there who just don't get any publicity for what they do every day to try to make the world a better place. And Shannon's one of those people that jumps out at me.
That's awesome.
Outstanding. Absolutely. Clancy.
Present company accepted. Probably my dad. He's still hanging in there.
That's great, man.
Cool.
That's wonderful. Has a smile on his face.
That's beautiful.
Tells me what's going on Turner Classic Movies whenever we talk.
Yeah. That's
I got them off Fox and on to Turner Classic Movies.
Oh,
so
well done. Well done,
Good.
sir.
Fantastic. Good timing, too, with Summer Under the Stars. That's great.
Yeah, right.
Carl, you're out of Stasis. This is great.
Yeah,
So
guys,
we
we're
can
going to
do
reread it now. We're going to reread the whole thing.
Carl, we're asking everybody we're asking everybody for their personal heroes. That was a question from the audience. Who's your personal hero?
Well, right now I would say it's my father was always first, but James Baldwin right now, because that's who I think is a man for our time and was a man for the time he lived in, and was almost prescient and quite misunderstood, because what he was talking about was always about love, even though he was enlisted to talk about all sorts of other things, but at the root of it was always love, and that's what I think is most important. That's him.
Incredible documentary about him on Netflix. Really, really amazing. Absolutely. Did I forget anyone who hasn't spoken up yet? Andrea?
I didn't. My mother was a force of nature. And Maria too. That's right. No, Maria spoke, didn't she? Anyway,
yes.
My mother was a force of nature. My mother had 8 kids, and then realized after 6 were born that there was no way that our household could survive with just one working parent, and so she ultimately became the highest executive in Suffolk County in New York State. Her next position, if she wanted to go any higher than that, would have had to be an elected official, and she did not want to be that deeply into politics. But she was awesome. I have seen Suffolk County police officers shrink at her, when she lets them have it. And it was the point. When she would point at them, which was all of us kids would go, "Oh, the poor officers. We know that point." But she was awesome. She passed away many years ago now, like 12 years ago, but she was crazy cool. She was really good. She was my hero.
That's amazing. A lot of people have been asking on the chat, and I'll ask for everybody. Susan, as was mentioned before by Andrea, not only did you spearhead this group, but you're leading the charge as far as a Justice League reunion, and it's something that I know that a lot of us fans really want to see. Any suggestions, all of you, in terms of who the people can contact and try to make this happen? We got a bit of one last year when you had the Justice League versus the Fatal Five, and several of you were part of that.
Yeah, that was a treat. Yeah, that was just Kevin and George and I, but that wasn't, it just gave us a taste of what we wanted more of. So, I can tell you not to tweet at Warner Brothers Entertainment, because we've been told that is not accepted and that they don't want the tweets. But people should just be outspoken about it, because I think that if the fans give voice to the desire, then eventually they'll make good on it. I hope, because I know the fans want it. The cast wants it. Andrea has said she would come out of retirement to direct it.
That's true.
Bruce Timm has said he would do it. But we just need the powers that be at Warner Brothers, whoever they may be, to greenlight it. We have a writer waiting in the wings, and truly we do. And everything's there, but the will from the studio.
The money, everything but the money.
Warner Brothers.
And to be honest, having actors and writers is really sort of like having paint and rubber. And it's like we've almost got a car built. No, you don't.
Right.
Really what it is. As somebody who's been on shows that came back from the dead back before that was a thing.
Right.
All the studios care about is money.
That's right.
By the way,
if the Justice League episodes are getting bought on iTunes, they're going to say, "Oh, geez, we left a pile of cash on the table. Quick, go get it."
So is that what happened, Phil, in terms of Futurama being able to come back?
Yes. People bought the DVDs after the show was already off the air, and they're like, "Wait, people still like this, and are not just like it, but are willing to spend money on it."
Mm-hmm. Well, and interestingly too, I don't know how many more months DC Universe as a specific streaming channel has, and I know that things like DC Direct and the Daily Show have gone away, but the Justice League series wasn't on
DC universe. So I think that is the only way that people can vote is if they want to, purchase it from iTunes or rent it from iTunes.
Blu-ray and
Blu-ray, sure.
DVD.
Well, I came up with an idea, and Phil seemed to love it. We just have names like Crash and the Blue Lantern, and we just change the names around.
Yeah.
Get a great animator.
That's adorable.
There are enough
idea.
There are enough public domain heroes out there. Yeah, there's enough ciphers out there that it's easy to kind of make the Black Terror George's character, and there's a lot of street vigilantes that Kevin could play, and even some speedsters that Mike could play. Yeah.
Well, by the way, if they decided later on after things were going well, successful, and they sued us, how would they look? We've been trying to do this forever, you jerk.
So Phil, if you had a direct, people are asking. So what would your advice be in terms of what people should do to try to get buy the DVDs and the
rent the episode, buy the episodes,
merch, buy the merch.
Whatever puts money in their pocket, that gets their attention.
Yeah. Right. Thank
you.
Good.
No, I
like
get
the T-shirt, Phil. By the way. Thank you for wearing the lineup T-shirt.
And
really good.
And also, everybody, support the Hero Initiative. Really a big reason why we're all here. Much like the fact that we can't enjoy live conventions in person, the Hero Initiative is really suffering because that's where they make a lot of their money. Like literally over 80% of their donations come from being at conventions and people literally putting money in the jar. They can't do that now, and that's one of the reasons why Mainframe exists. So if you would, it's heroinitiative.org, or if you're watching on the Mainframe Comic-Con page, there's a donate button right at the bottom there for Hero Initiative as well. So keep that in mind, if you would. So a little public service message there.
Thank you.
And also,
Nice.
I wanted to ask you guys another key member of the production team of Justice League, Dwayne McDuffie, who I had a chance to talk to a few times and really appreciated his company. And man, I'll tell you, not only in animation, but also in comics, really one of the best writers that really understood the characters and stuff. Any memories of Dwayne, anybody?
He was so talented. He was such a wonderful guy to work with. He was really generous. I so admired him. It was so shocking when he died.
So shocking.
Huh?
Truly.
So shocking.
He always struck me. He always struck me as somebody who just couldn't believe how fortunate he was.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? To be in the room and writing this stuff.
Yeah.
He so enjoyed it so much. I mean, it just leapt off him, his enthusiasm for it.
I mean, he was incredible. What was it? He had a PhD in physics, is it? Something like that. I mean, he really genuinely was
I remember that,
a smart guy. And but the joy he got from working in the animated field with Static Shock first, and then which was so cool, and then with the Justice League. And every time I speak to fans about him, they all have nothing but kind words to say about his engagement with them. He was really understanding of actors. He understood the creative process an actor goes through. He was not, a lot of producers and writers, they don't understand it. But he engaged himself and wanted to know what you guys did to get the performances that you did. Yeah. And he was one of those guys too, that if you guys would change his words, because not intentionally, but just it rolled better off the tongue that way, he was absolutely fine with that. He was not precious with his words. They were whatever works and makes it better for the whole project. So he was.
But Clancy was right. It was.
Hey guys, I gotta get going. I'm sorry, Kevin. And I have my charity online event that I'm hosting. But I love you guys all, and thanks for having me.
Michael, thank you so much for coming on. Absolutely.
Michael.
All right, thanks.
Bye, everyone.
Glad I made it back.
See you, Michael.
All my love.
Carl, are you going too? Are you leaving too, Carl? All right.
Okay.
Love. Thank you.
All right.
Thanks for
Carl, thank you. Thank you very much, man.
See you on Mars, Carl.
Well, maybe there'll be room.
There might be room
you
now.
can stay if you want. If you want to stay, certainly, Carl.
I will.
Because Michael had to go.
Minutes.
Okay.
Great. No, that's Kevin. I'm sorry. We didn't mean to step on you while you were saying nice things about Dwayne McDuffie. Please.
You were saying about
what Clancy was saying about the fact that he seemed so genuinely amazed at what he was doing and at what life had brought him. You know what I mean? He was so appreciative, and so that no ego got in the way when you were working with him. He was a truly generous guy. I loved working with him.
Yeah.
That's beautiful,
Just
man.
a gentle spirit. What a gentle spirit, you know.
Truly.
And he really understood character. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, really, it was a hallmark of his comic work as well. And would just do these great, real like acting moments in these comics where the real like even across the street with his Marvel work, great Fantastic Four stuff between Reed Richards and Dr. Doom. And they had that kind of Luthor Superman kind of adversarial role, and more Silver Age, where they really got under each other's skin because they really knew each other on a personal level. So
I think that's actually part of Dwayne's genius, like his actual like mental genius, like that ability to work on a number of levels at once. He could work on the character level. He could work on, creating milestone. I can create an entire world. But he also got the nerdy stuff. Because I remember we would be in session and there would be some deep cut Silver Age reference to some, minor Charlton character that got moved over to DC. And we'd be doing the read through and that would come up and I would look through the glass. I'm like, Dwayne, I know that was you. And he like,
nice.
Well, we're on the subject of
amazing about the process that we go through, the people we get to work with. Dwayne is one example, but like Shirley Walker and then the actors Mark Hamill and Maurice LaMarche. I mean, the people that we work with on a daily level, I'm always amazed at the level of talent. It's
like Maria Canales Barrera. I can't remember. She was really good.
It's overwhelming. You know what I mean?
Well, and Andrea, truly, you really bring those performances out, and we literally saw it in this table read and everything. And I really, the sophistication of acting and the casting that went in and happened, starting with the animated series, but throughout the various DC animated television shows. I mean, that it really went from, and you know best, Andrea, because you were directing initially during that "Hey guys" sort of period. Oh, that's funny. I think she's trying to get in. I think she's frozen there. So I'll remove her there, and I'll bring her back here. There you are, Andrea. I was just saying, I don't know if you heard me, Andrea. Oh, no worries. We were giving it up to you because we were talking about the level of acting that evolved from when you started in animation to really the great acting that we got on all the DC shows and things like the Boondocks as well, for that matter.
Oh, nice. Thank you. The thing is, when I started in animation, which would have been like back in 1979, 1980, I know it's terrifying. I was
groovy, baby, groovy. Come on.
And the style of acting, of animation acting, you guys all know, you remember those cartoons. It was really broad. It was really cartoony. Even Super Friends was absurd. It was so silly. The voices were kind of like this. Everybody sort of sounded like they were auditioning to do promos. I mean, it was really, really weird.
Promo.
And then I thought, when Bruce Timm came to me to do the Batman series first, we talked about wanting it to be a different quality of acting. We weren't so concerned about people being able to come in and do three voices. That was lovely if they could do that, but it was more important that they be good actors. And so the very, foundation of the cast was based on good acting. And then from there, we did the occasional voices and stuff. So yes, I take great pride and I compliment all of you on the fact that you made me look good, because you were good actors first. And then you let me, those of you who needed to be taught, teach you how to translate that acting into animation acting, which is different because and those of you who had stage experience transitioned quicker. It was an easier transition because, stage acting requires just a little bit more energy. It's a little bit more boosted reality, but it is still reality. And as we wanted the cartoons to be too, even though there were fantasy elements, we wanted it to sound like it was based in reality. And that's what you all brought to it. And that's why you were cast, because you were strong actors. That really is why.
Well, Andrea is the best at giving direction for punches. That's what I'll say right now. She's great at teaching you how to give and receive punches.
I can do that.
Takes a skill. It's a very good skill you have.
Thank you very
much. It's so interesting because...
Oh, sorry, go ahead, Susan.
It's so interesting because as we started this, it's like knowing that Andrea was going to be, directing us for the read, there's just a certain I just can relax, because she's
thank
here
you for that.
Yeah. And
that's lovely.
It's just unless you've been directed by her, and unless you know what that is to be in the room with her, you can't appreciate what her presence means to all of us, to all the actors. Yeah. And if every show she worked on, if all the people were here, they would say the exact same thing. She has the reputation she has because she's the best.
Well, no,
it's for that.
It's not just her impact on us.
Right.
It's her impact on animation as a whole. Because basically, if you think about it, Batman the Animated Series was Streetcar Named Desire. Kevin was Brando.
Yes.
And Andrea was Elia Kazan. And they
Elia Kazan, that's fantastic.
I'll take it. I'll take it.
No, Kevin. What would you do for your sound check, Kevin?
That's right.
Andrea.
It's my favorite. I love it so.
Andrea,
but I you know what, you guys? I fear that the day of the ensemble record is over. Do you fear that that's
really?
Happened? Well,
why?
Nobody's recording together. Well, because nobody can get into a room together. You can't all get into a recording studio.
Well, now certainly COVID. Yeah.
And I fear that everybody's going to get comfortable in their home studios, and that it's going to become much more of the norm rather than the ensemble record.
Well, then it'll be rediscovered
like this.
Yeah, once it's all over, it'll be rediscovered, and somebody will say, "Wow, I can't believe I invented this."
Yeah.
Some young clerk will come in.
But even had about bringing us together. And being so aware about how the foundation of good acting is relationship and wanting it to ground it and real. Yeah. And then if you have wonderful words to say and Andrea's concentration on the relationship, I think that's why it was so touching, and so many people were not just entertained but really moved by the show. I get stopped all the time about what a difference, how different it was, how deep, how cinematic, how they just love the show. And I'm just so happy that you picked me, because I get to be part of something that's so special and lasting. It's been just such a wonderful thing. And when we were reading, it felt like we were just right back 20 years ago, right there. And it was
Isn't that great?
I
love that. You know what's really cool too, Maria, is your story arc and yours and Phil's story arc together was a major emotional arc in the show, as was Carl's. Remember, Carl did an episode. It was a Christmas episode where he goes back and tries to see his family or something like that. Do you remember? It was a very emotional. But my point is, I love the emotional aspect. It's perfectly fine. I have no problem directing all that stuff. That I can do that. I can tell you to go faster because you're running. I can tell you to do the line again because you're panting. But what I really wanted to get into is what makes this character feel, and how do we get in there? How do we, the audience, get to feel what that character's feeling? Carl, do you remember what I'm talking about? The episode where I think you end up singing a Christmas carol in Martian. Isn't this true, Carl?
Yes, I do remember.
Comfort and Joy?
Yes.
Wow. Yes, that's it. Comfort and Joy. That was the name.
Yeah,
and
that's
it was
right.
so emotional and so wonderful. And I remember thinking, I'm going to cry in this recording session. I thought, you know what? If I cry in the recording session, I bet fans will cry when they watch this, and that's good. They should
for
feel
a lot of
so
people,
emotional.
that's White Christmas. For a lot of people, that's White Christmas. They watch it every year around the holidays.
Yeah.
Right.
Reaching back to the Batman series, Andrea, Michael Ansara, when he played Mr. Freeze in Heart of Ice.
And
that's
what a heartbreaking
performance. Yeah.
Truly. And you know, when we first recorded that, and I thought Michael Ansara was excellent casting. I was particularly proud of getting him, for him to say yes. And he came in and recorded with the cast in an ensemble record, and you can feel it from Bruce Timm. It's just not working. The energy coming from behind me, because he would sit behind me, he wasn't liking it. And so I just said to Bruce, let's just keep Michael after the cast, release all the rest of the cast, get all their pickups, and then we'll work with him alone. So he's not embarrassed working in front of a bunch of people who have a lot of experience already. He's kind of new to this. Let's play. And so he stayed, and with a handful of notes, he made the slightest adjustment to make that voice sound not robotic, not flat, not monotone, but cold. And at the same time he made that voice sound cold, he made it sound extremely emotional in that episode that you guys are referring to. So he was the right guy. We just had to give him the right words to get. And I was still learning from Bruce what the series was. So I've still been directing a little too broad, a little too cartoony. And God, we had fabulous people, didn't we? These remarkable
Sub-Zero, his performance in Sub-Zero was incredible.
Yes. And didn't I think Mask of the Phantasm is just coming out again too as a Batman?
That's right.
Something that's coming out. I think Netflix has it now or something. But they never die, these shows, you guys. They keep coming around. Suddenly, something that I did forever ago, Avatar: The Last Airbender, I did for Nickelodeon, suddenly came out. It's huge on Netflix.
Yes,
they never die. The work will always come back.
My daughters love Avatar, Andrea.
It was a great series, wasn't it? How old are you?
They do. Oh my! Yeah, my kids love Avatar.
16 and 15. Wait, no. 17, she just turned it, and 15. Isn't that crazy?
I went to their baby showers. I was pregnant
during the
time has gone. Right. George said to you, I'll never forget this in a recording session. He kind of quietly went over and said, "Are you pregnant?" And you said, "What the hell?" He said, "I'm the father of multiple children. I can tell." You're pregnant. And you weren't showing it all yet. Like,
it's your superpower.
It was another superpower.
X-ray vision.
My favorite thing is
better than his echocardiogram or sonograms. Yeah.
One of my best friends when Justice League debuted and it would be on prime time on Cartoon Network, he and I were watching and I told him like the show's amazing. And after about 2 or 3 episodes, my friend's wife walks in and she's like, "What are you watching?" And he's like, "Listen, I know it's a cartoon, but you don't understand the writing, the acting. This is like the greatest superhero show ever." Yeah. And she sat down and she's like, "Oh, okay." And she got it, but it really was terrific. And it's like, truly, that's the thing. I mean, there's a generation of kids that grew up on your guys' work, but truly as an older viewer and stuff, I mean, I was already an adult, and I mean, we were watching right along. And in fact, I know that might have been one of the frustrations and why, thankfully, it was able to come back as Justice League Unlimited, because I know it was aimed towards this Y7 audience. But like the best cartoons, you didn't talk down to kids as we were describing the acting and stuff.
They never talked down to kids.
It was a smart show.
Yeah,
it was smart.
It was always multi-layered, And I think the biggest audience was usually college age, wasn't it?
A lot.
I believe it.
A lot. Absolutely.
I totally believe it. Another great actor, Ra's al Ghul, David Warner.
So lucky to have David come and play with
Detective.
us. I just watched. What's the Omen? I had forgotten about him with the plane of glass.
Oh, was that?
Yeah.
How many times David Warner has been killed that way on Titanic? We don't even really know how he gets his comeuppance in Titanic, but he's bloody as the ship breaks into 2 parts. But he was so wonderful on this series as Ra's al Ghul. And then we had Olivia Hussey in the last seasons as Talia al Ghul. So, Juliet from Zeffirelli's Romeo and Juliet played Talia al Ghul, which was just fantastic. But these quality caliber actors that came into play and were often so nervous. I mean, they would come and stand next to Kevin Conroy and you could see them visibly shaking. And Kevin would just be so generous and kind to them and let them know, "Don't worry, Andrea's going to tell you everything you need to know." And I always committed to everybody who came to work with us, I will never let your voice go out sounding bad. I will make sure that we stay here until we're all happy with what's coming up, because you don't ever want someone to come in and guest and then leave saying, "I hope no one ever sees that episode because my acting was dreadful." So I'm happy to stay a little bit longer to get it. I hired them because I think they can do it. I believe I have a good sense of what they can do. And sometimes it would happen with you guys too. Even, there'd be a second role we'd give you and we'd say, "Clancy, can you stay after school? We have to change that voice a little bit more so it's not so close to something else you've done." Or, "Kevin, can you stay? This guy's fine, but we have to make him sound." So, and we would do that all the time. And only once or twice were we never able to get what we needed.
Right.
There were 2 instances I can remember. One was, and I think several of you were on this session. Kevin. The line was, You go after those two, Wilkes, talking to a character named Wilkes. You go after those two, Wilkes. It was a police officer saying this. And I believe we had over 50 takes in the initial record and probably 30 takes in ADR. And it almost always came out, you go after those two, Wilkes. You go after those two, Wilkes. I mean, it never, ever.
She couldn't get it, yeah.
Right. She couldn't get it, bless her heart. And then the line that actually had to be cut, the whole scene had to be cut because we couldn't make it work, was an actor who had to say, yes. And Phil, I know you were there. That's all he had to say. Yes. Frustrated, annoyed, tired, yes. We recorded, I'm not kidding, 70 different yeses. And tried splicing them together to get yes. We'd get yes. I mean,
so funny.
Other reading, but yes. We couldn't get it. We do, and Phil, I looked at Phil and just went, he's beat me. This actor has beat me. I cannot get him to say it right. I think I even had I went around the room and I had all the actors do it. Phil, you go, yes. Phil would do it. Maria, you do it. Yes, you would do it. Thinking that maybe if everybody else did it, and then it came to this guy, he would just echo them. Couldn't get it. But those are the only two times I remember not getting it.
You did everything. It was basically a master class on directing. She did every conceivable. It's like, here's backstory. Here's echoing.
Yep.
Here's,
echo me. Exactly.
I don't think I was there that day. I wasn't there for that.
It was so nasty. It was so nasty. But Phil was there. We told the stories before.
Yeah. Phil, can I get I know people have said it on the chat. Can we get you to do a quick back and forth between young Static Shock and old Static Shock?
Oh, what?
You know what I mean? Can you do the young voice and immediately answer back in the old voice of Static when we saw him in the future and we saw Static as an old man?
I don't know, because actually that was a real challenge because we had been doing Justice League and we'd been doing Static. We'd already established the voice of Virgil. And of course, we already established the voice of Jon Stewart. It's like, all right, now it's Virgil at 55. I'm like, okay. What does he sound? Well, he can't sound like this. You know that.
What did we do?
Okay. Well, if this is you when you're 14, well, not everybody gets a deep voice as they get older. Some people just get more mature.
There you go.
Of course, you get through, the age that I am now, where there's just, you're the same person, but there's just a little more texture.
There you go. You got there.
Well, really nicely done.
Man. That was beautiful, man. Absolutely.
Really
and Susan and Kevin, my God, the veiled romance of Wonder Woman and Batman that people still make allusions to.
Veiled romance.
Not so veiled. Not so veiled.
Yeah. Well, I like to tease the fans and tease Kevin with the Wonder Bat stuff because I think it just was such a wonderful dimension to the show. I loved it.
Right.
I loved the flirty, and he sang for me, and I had his number, and he had my number. I mean, this little piggy I get asked about more than any other show written by the great Paul Dini.
Yeah.
And that was just all those little moments. People have put videos together of all the moments between Wonder Woman and Batman and then put them to very romantic pieces of music.
Oh, that's great.
It's so fun to watch them, and people love it. And I mean, Kevin and I think our voices really do have a special something, a je ne sais quoi.
I would agree.
So did they ship your name Wonder Bat or Bruana?
Huh?
Oh yeah,
Bruana.
Wonder Guana?
Wonder Bat.
I like them both.
Wonder Bat.
No, that's
Wonder
great.
Bat.
And Carl and Clancy, Kevin as well, and Phil certainly with Jon Stewart, but really that you guys have wonderful. I mean, I wish you guys were born a couple decades earlier and we could have gotten a few radio dramas out of you because we get a lot of it through thank God through animation, but really all of you.
I mean, they're coming back, so
Well, I know Susan was working with the new suspense program that they put together, which I think is fantastic.
Yeah, no, I do a lot of radio drama. I love it. I mean, it also lets you play these very broad characters, which is so much fun.
How fun.
And here she comes. It's just the best. The best. I can't get enough of that stuff. I can't get enough of it. I love it.
John, what you said about those voices, I mean, I don't know, Andrea, was that you or was that Bruce? Because there was always a lot of bass in that room. I remember there was one session where there was Kevin and Carl and Clancy, and I think maybe William Smith.
Yeah.
But basically, there was so much bass in the room. I don't think they put the mics. They just put mics on the floor because you were just hearing it through your feet.
I love that. I did like that. You're absolutely right,
Yeah.
Phil. I think it was combined. I think it was both Bruce and I. We both loved that. And we loved the fact that we were able to find guys with that deep, menacing, powerful voice, but who sounded completely different from each other. Carl sounds nothing like Kevin. Clancy sounds nothing like, so many other people. And that's what was so cool, is that you could have all those guys talking to each other and not go, no, wait, whose voice was that? Was that everybody's voice was distinct? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Guys, I hate to do this, but we got to wrap up because we got another panel coming up soon.
All right.
We're filling up the room as we are, so we're filled to capacity. I hope we have a chance to do individual one-on-ones as I've done with Phil and Susan in the past. It'd be great too. I'm not going to pressure you, but truly, it's an honor being able to speak to all of you, and thank you for really 2 decades of incredible love of what you put on screen and through your acting and everything. It means a lot, and I speak for the fans when I say it. So thank you greatly.
Thank
Buy
you.
the DVDs.
Thank you.
Buy the DVDs.
Thank you guys. Bye. Thank you, everybody.
So I can't tell you how cool it was being a fly on the wall for that amazing session with the Justice League. If that's not enough Kevin Conroy for you, I do have a good hunk of the Killing Joke press junket. I know I released the whole press junket a couple weeks ago, but if you missed that and really just want to focus on Kevin, this is great because he really gets into his acting relationship and character relationship with Mark Hamill. And just like Kevin, there's only one Joker, I think, and whose performance supersedes all the other great performances, and there have been a lot of them over the years. But you got to admit, Mark Hamill is our Joker as much as Kevin Conroy is our Batman. And 30 years of playing the character, as both of them did, stands for itself, both in television, film, and games. So this is great. Kevin Conroy from 2016 at the Killing Joke press junket here on Word Balloon. What an honor to finally meet and talk to Kevin Conroy. I even got to talk to him a little bit before the press conference began. Just a gentleman, and lives up to what Susan Eisenberg has told me about Kevin Conroy when we spoke. And as he says, Mark Hamill is the guy who made him aware of the Killing Joke. But as always, Kevin comes to play, and I think gives another exemplary performance as Batman, and really understands the weight of the Killing Joke and what makes it special. I still question Alan Moore's rejection of this story, because I really think that those moments between Batman and the Joker at the beginning of the film and at the end of the film, I know it's not the Joker at the beginning, but we think it is, and certainly Batman thinks it is at the very beginning of the movie. Those are really significant conversations that I really think, it's Holmes and Moriarty speaking to each other heart to heart. It's that kind of weight. Superman and Lex Luthor, when they've had their real moments. It's among those kind of great classic hero and villain, really, kind of letting their defenses down. And it's just really big moments. And also, Kevin clears up a thought that Hamill had kind of put all of our brains, that this might be the last time for the two of them playing Batman and the Joker, which gave it even more gravitas. But Conroy's here to tell a different story. I will let him tell it now on Word Balloon.
The living legend himself. It's like a mean Batman. You get 4 minutes. We're gonna whack your knuckles.
It's totally true.
Okay, sister, I'll be good.
Okay, so does Batman kill Joker at the end?
He has a reason. There's one in every crowd.
However, there is a reason.
There is one in every crowd.
We had a conversation just then where it was very much an ambiguity.
Well, there is an ambiguity to it.
Is it still that ambiguity in the film?
Yes.
Yeah.
Where do you see Batman in the stage of his career at the start of this story? Is he near the end? Is it just? I mean, I know that they're at wit, or he's at wits with the Joker in terms of. Yeah.
I mean, it's the ultimate struggle between good and evil. It's the conflict that everyone's been waiting for so long. And there's a scene towards the end of the movie I'm so proud of, where I'm just trying to pull it out of Joker. That I think the audience is really going to be happy with. I know I was happy with it, and I think Mark was.
I remember back with Arkham City, I think Mark said that would be his last time as the Joker. And then I think he also said that this story would bring him back one more time, but now he's also back in Justice League action. So should we maybe not believe him when he said he's going to be retiring his voice as the Joker from now on?
I think it was just that Mark was just saying that because I mean when he said it I was so shocked because I know how great he is at it, and I know how much he loves doing it. He was just saying that out of frustration, I think. I think that was a moment of frustration.
Do you think
because he wanted
playing
to do
with
more
the fans?
stuff?
Is he playing with the fans again? Does he just like to play with the fans a little bit?
No, he loves I know he's not playing with people because he absolutely respects the fans as much as I do. We've spoken about that a lot. The Batman fans are the most passionate in the industry. I mean, they're amazing, and we wouldn't have jobs without them. So I am enormously respectful of them, and I know Mark is. No, that came out of just his own personal actor frustration of, I want to play something else. You know, he had only been given that for a number of years, and he wanted to do something else.
So it's not a last call for you guys. This isn't a last call.
Not for me.
Excellent.
I hope it's not for him.
Fantastic.
I mean, you've done a lot of different Batman stories at this point, and some of them have been original, some of them have been adaptations. Is there still a story out there that you really want to do that has not been done yet?
You know, I'm not as familiar with the Batman library as you guys are. I really came to this as an actor.
Yeah.
Mark turned me on to The Killing Joke. I really wasn't aware of it. I thought, wow, this is amazing. So there probably are stories out there I'd love to do that I'm not aware of yet. I loved Mask of the Phantasm. I still think it's the best Batman movie.
I agree.
Although this may take over. This may take over. But up until now, I think that was the best Batman movie.
I'd love to see you guys do The Death of the Family.
The Death of the Family?
Yeah.
I'll ask Mark about that. But I do want to do a musical. I think we got to do Batman the musical.
Absolutely.
Well, think about it. Mark is a Broadway singer. I'm a singer. Tara Strong's a singer. We got so many voices in this show.
Like sit right up, just knock it down.
It could be killer.
I think the one thing about the Batman, the Killing Joke as a story is, and certainly for fans, is just how far the story goes in terms of tone. I mean, this is a hard R animation at the end of the day. When you saw and read the script, and when you saw where they were going with the story, how shocked were you? I mean, in contrast to the other Batmans that you've done.
Oh, I was completely shocked.
Yeah.
Well, how are they going to do this? Because they hadn't decided to do an R rating.
Really?
Initially.
Oh, right, okay.
Or if they hadn't told me. I don't know. I hadn't heard about that. So I was going into it.
I mean, did it read like a hard R when you read it?
Well, it's very graphic.
Yeah.
And it's really rough stuff that happens in this. I thought, how are they going to do this? You know, they told me to just go with it, and they were going to work it out. I thought, well, they'll edit a lot of this out, I'm sure. I thought this is going to be edited out of this, and then they didn't. And they said, well, we're just going to go with an R rating instead.
I think,
which I really respect.
Yeah. That moment that he reaches out to the Joker and says basically, look, we might kill each other. Isn't there something I can do to bring you? Yeah, and I mean, is that a moment of true humanity? Did you play that for a moment of humanity, or is Batman being the ultimate cop and saying, hey, tell me about it?
Oh no! I am begging with him. I'm just trying to pull something out of him. I loved playing that section. What else I can tell you? Did you enjoy it?
Did you slip in as Bruce Wayne? When you asked me that question, did you switch from Batman to Bruce Wayne, or did you stay
that's interesting, yeah.
No.
Is it the same person, or do you feel like, is it Batman at the core? Is it?
Oh, it's Batman at the core.
Okay.
It's absolutely. Bruce Wayne's the performance. I've always felt that. He's the artifice he puts on to face the world. He's most comfortable when he's in the cave.
And how about between you and Gordon, when it is, him saying, hey, you got to pull back, you're still a cop, or you're still on the right side of the law, and where's Batman's mind at that? Like, we got to destroy him.
It was so interesting working with Ray Weiss, having a different actor in that role. He's a wonderful actor.
Were you, because Ray said you weren't able to work together?
Last one.
Okay, Ray said you weren't, and so did you just have Ray in your mind then?
Because I knew that Bob Hastings, of course, isn't with us anymore. Sure. And I was wondering how he would do this. You're always imagining how the other actors would play. With Mark, I know.
Right.
Because Mark wasn't there either. He was off doing Star Wars, which is the first time he and I haven't recorded together. Oh, wow. Yeah, we're always recording together.
This is the first time ever.
That's interesting. I think so.
Really?
Except, no, in some of the games we haven't, because they have to have clean takes. So sometimes in the games we be together, but sometimes not. But in terms of the interactive, the actor things, the TV shows and the movies, we've always been together. This is the first time we haven't done it. And it was because of Star Wars. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Happy birthday. No, he can't. You guys don't listen. No. Broke all the rules.
That was so funny. Yeah, Conroy did try to get that happy birthday in for the guy, and I don't know if the PR guy kind of screwed it up or not. The person whose birthday is can only decide whether that was cool enough or not. But very, very funny.
That final bit from the Killing Joke press conference, I think, kind of shows you, frankly, the frustration I have with press junkets. I understand. Everybody's time is limited. We all understand that. Some people are a little totalitarian, though, in the way they run them. Not a fan. Let me just say that. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this great look at Kevin Conroy with his castmates from the Justice League, and even him talking about that great relationship with Mark Hamill in particular in this Killing Joke press junket insert. And I hope you enjoyed Word Balloon today. It's always a pleasure to present these kinds of moments that I have been afforded, and I'm very sorry that we have to do it to honor the passing of really a great actor and, again, a great friend to the nerd culture. There's only one Kevin Conroy, and his Batman performances will stand the test of time and will continue to endure generations beyond this current one. So thanks a lot for listening. More Word Balloon coming up this weekend, including 3 new panels that I'm doing on Sunday for comic art fans. It'll be on Word Balloon's YouTube channel as well. And I'm talking to Mark Laming, the fantastic British artist. Danny Fingeroff will be talking and giving us memories of Stan Lee. And finally, at the end of the afternoon, I'll be talking to Franco about just what he's been doing lately, and including the Dead Man anthology that he just put out with DC, and a whole bunch more. That's all on Word Balloon Live this weekend on Sunday morning and afternoon. If you join us live, great. If not, don't worry. The audios will be coming in the days ahead. Until next time, Word Balloon is a copyright feature of Shaky Productions, copyright 2022. Everybody stay safe, stay happy, stay healthy.